Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. So, another dartboard review, and this time it's the Target TOR. This was sent to me from Target Darts. I don't think you can actually get them yet, but I think you can pre-order them. I think they're getting released around about December, I think it is. And these retail for $69.95 or $99, depending on where you're getting it. Now, Target look as if they've just skipped the Aspar and just gone straight onto a new one, the TOR. And I wonder if that's a dig on the Mission Taurus light ring. Wouldn't surprise me. These brands kind of have a little bit of a rivalry, you know. I suppose it's a good thing. But anyway, Target have said this is a really high quality board due to the fact that it's made with the Madagascan sisal. Now, if you don't know anything about dartboards, the boards themselves are made of a kind of a plant-like fibre called sisal. I think it comes from like a kind of a cactus type plant, and they make it into big long strands, and then they kind of like push it all together, and they make like biscuits, and they get sliced and then they get compressed. It's quite an interesting process when you see it, but I don't really know for certain if Madagascan sisal is better for a dartboard than any other sisal. It tends to be usually African, Kenyan sisal fibres, and I think the cheaper version is usually the Chinese sisal. But it may well be a high grade, but like I say, if it's the best for a dartboard, why haven't they always used it? That's what I don't understand. So only time will tell, and you'll only know that from using the board. So I'm going to do what I normally do in a dartboard review. I'll give you a look at the board, a close-up, and I'll do you some dimensions, and I'll throw a few darts. But obviously in a short video I can't test the long-term wear, so I'm going to do the same as what I decided to do with the Bandit 4 and the Bull 701. I'll do the same with this. When I've thrown 10,000 darts at it, then I'll do an update, and when I've done that with all three of the boards, I'll do another video where I compare them all together, which I think is the best way to do it, I think, because instead of saying I've played on the board X amount of hours, which could mean anything, it's probably a better way to tell you how many darts has been thrown, and then you can compare it to how many you throw. But like I said before, I got a dodgy elbow, so I'm trying to throw with my left and see if I can rack up the numbers. But I have opened it. It was already opened actually. It was just sealed up with sellotape, so obviously it obviously been previously inspected, but I did have a quick peek at it, and it does look a rather nice board again. So like I said before, we're kind of getting spoilt for choice now with dartboards, but let's check it out. Right, I've took the board out of the box, but I'll just quickly show you the box itself. But as you can see, it says Peak Fix, adjustable fix and bolt. So it's got a similar thing to what's on the blade boards, the rotor lock type of thing. 100% Madagascan sisal, 215 MDG grade Madagascan sisal, 36x10 symmetrical graphics. Say that when you're drunk. So basically what that means is, as you're rotating the board, all the logos will be symmetrical, just like it was on the Aspar. And the other side, as you can see, there's not really anything there to talk about. And inside the box you get the installation guide, which is a nice printed booklet, and on the back you've got a checkout chart, and then you got your little bag with all the fixings. We'll just have a quick look at that. They even have their own little Target plastic bags. So you got a normal bracket, and then you got the little Peak Fix. It's going to be hard trying to remember to call them Peak Fix and not rotor locks. But kind of look like the same sort of thing. So you already have an idea what that is. And there's the board itself. again, a very nice looking board. Now I am a little bit surprised that they made these logos a little bit bigger, because I think with the Aspar they were quite small, so it kind of looked a little bit neater. So I don't think it looks quite as neat as what the Aspar does personally, but that's just me. And also they've got like a highlighted red part on the top, which is a little bit distracting, but again it depends on how your eyes work and what affects you. But other than that, it still looks really nice, and I quite like these number rings what they brought out with the Aspar, and it is quite a thick strong ring, and I've never broken the Aspar one, even though I've hit it plenty of times, so I don't think there's any issues with that. And the little numbers being small and that, no good for people who like to play loops, but I think it looks rather neat, a neat number ring. Can't get the thing back on now. It's awkward when the camera's in your way and you can't see what you're doing properly. But they've even got the little brackets with Target on, so there's a lot of neat touches for Target's own branding, and also around the metal ring going around the board. So that's got the Target on, and on the back again we've got more Target logo. This is a piece of like sticky plastic. I don't know if you can see that. It almost looks like Fablon. Can you remember that from years ago? Fablon, your mum used to cut a strip and put it in the cupboard, or places like that. I don't know if they still do that, but it's got the holes around for the peak fix locking wheels, and there's some holes there. I think that is for the mod thingy that they have, so that can stick in the middle there. I don't have one of them, so I can't really check that, but I'll show you a close-up of the board now. Right, I'll just give you a quick look at the logos, and there you can see even the brackets got the Target name on. But it's a good idea having the symmetrical logos, like especially if you might have OCD and then you're rotating it so it always looks symmetrical. So there's the bullseye area. Now you're never going to get a board that's not going to have some kind of marks on it, because obviously when they're pressing the spider in and the balls, it's kind of cutting through the fibers, so you'll definitely get like little marks, but you're going to go put holes in the thing in any case. So I guess it really depends how pedantic you want to be when something is new, but it looks nice and central, and the surface of the board looks nice and smooth, so that's good. One thing I did notice though, and it was on the Bull 701 as well. Now if you look at the spider there, it's kind of got a lip on it, but then if you go down to this area here, well, you can see it, the spider's a little bit rough there, but I think what's happened again, like it was on the 701, it's been pushed in a little bit unevenly, so that's almost flat to the surface there, and it was kind of like that in the roundabout the same area on the Bull 701. So maybe the machine that is pressing the spider in is a little bit out of level or something, but it's a bit strange how it's also on this one. There's a little bit of roughness on some parts of the spider though, I can feel it as I'm going around. So I do think that when they're making these, maybe the machine obviously needs a lot of force to push the spider in, and maybe it just goes a little bit too heavy at times. But other than that, there's like little marks on the spider, like roughness, like I say, but it's nothing really major. But all the doubles are in pretty good condition there. So we'll look at the trebles. There's also slight faint lines that I can see. Again, I think it's to do with the machine that presses it in, so it probably rubs off some of the ink,
so maybe could have been touched up a little bit, but again, it's no big deal. You can see it as you're going round, but can't really see any problems other than that. They're all like superficial things, but like I say, you're throwing darts at it, you're going to get holes at it, and it's going to be marked up, so it doesn't really need to be perfect for long once you start using it. But other than that, like I said, it looks to be another very nice board, so we'll see how it performs. But what I'm going to do first is, because it comes with them like wheels for the back, I'm not going to put it on my wall clamp. I'm just going to test out the wheels first and see how it works. So these are the, like, what is it, the Peak Fix wheels, or aka rotor locks. But they just go in and out on a little threaded bolt, so that just allows you to level the board against the wall, which is a good idea, because if you've got uneven walls, then they'll help you to level it out. And it also comes with the flanged screw like you get on the blade boards, so I've already put that in. So I'll put it up on the bracket that I have on the wall for now, just to show you how this works, and then I'm going to take it off and put it on my wall clamp, because I don't have enough space to throw the darts in that position. Right, so that's the bracket that I put on the wall before, just for the sake of doing things like this, but I've just checked on it and my wall is definitely not plumb, so it's probably half an inch out down the bottom there, but whether that would affect the board, I don't know. But it's a fairly old house, so but even modern houses are not always plumb. So that little flange is handy because it keeps the width of the screw at just about the right height. But what I tend to do when I've done it with blade boards, let's have a look. Can you see? I don't know whether you can see me or not. I'll zoom out a bit. What I tend to do is I put all the wheels close to the board first, and then I put the screw in. So that's just the way I do it. I mean, don't have to do it the way I do it, but that one there is a little bit tight actually. It feels like the thread's a little bit tight on it. So this is the awkward part, because you can never see exactly what you're doing. Missed it. No, where am I? There, that's it. So as you can see, it's kind of rocking a little bit. Now, just for the sake of trying to get it perfect, I'll get the level. This is so according to that, now the board is level, but that's probably because the wall is out. So all you basically do is you just, where have they gone? You just screw the wheels out until it starts to lock in place. Now, this is the one thing that I've always had a little bit of an issue with the rotor locks that were on the blades. Yes, it's a brilliant idea, but if you haven't got your bracket screwed in right and you start turning the wheels, it can start pushing the bracket away from the wall, which it used to do on the right here, which is why I end up getting a wall clamp, because I had that many holes in the wall, it was just wearing the wall away. But there you go, it's solid now, and that is basically all you do. So it is a very good idea. So I'm going to put it on my wall clamp now. Alright, so this is the view from the hockey. The logo is not quite as bad as I first thought. I think it was when my lights were shining directly on them, that kind of red highlight looked as if it was a bit more thingy, but it doesn't look too bad. Although I still think it was a bit neater on the Aspar
I think they should have stuck with the smaller logos myself, but it's all personal preference. But once again, it just looks like another nice board, but obviously time will tell. So I'll just put the camera on here and then I'll stick some darts in it, see how firm it is. So I'll try with the double first this time. Now straight away it definitely feels a bit softer than the Aspar, and it's softer than the Bandit 4 and the 701. Just test the outside part first. Now I would say that feels about the same. Oh, the black area's gone in really easy there. So looking at the holes as I've pulled the dart out, very minimal, and the treble's gone in quite easy as well, so it does feel a little bit softer than the other two that I was talking about. Let's check on the bull area. Now the 25s on the 701 were really quite hard. Oh, that's a lot softer. So I think boards in a way are a bit like darts. Some prefer a firm board, some prefer a softer board, but oh, it's gone in quite easy on the bull. But I would say it's definitely a lot softer than the Aspar, and it's softer than the bulls and the Bandit. So I'll throw some darts at it now. Alright, I'm just leaving the camera focused on the board. You don't need to see me, it's all about the board. Mind you, my elbows not too good at all today. Oh, it's very stiff. That's my first 3 throws of the day. Oh, I've moved my arm a bit. It hasn't quite healed up them ones quite as easy, but we'll have a few more throws. But I'll do like I said at the beginning, I'll get to the point where I've thrown 10,000 darts, and then when I've done that many, I'll do an update. Oh, my arm is stiff as anything. Let's try around the outside, towards the outside. 2 double 8s. But it's a fairly quiet board actually. I don't know if you can hear that ping sound. There's also a ping off them, but there's a ping off the wall clamp. It's got like a spring in. I don't know whether the camera picks it up though. But that's quite a nice sound to the board. I think the darts are going in a little bit uneven, like that one's gone in, I don't know, maybe 12 mil. That one's probably gone in about 15, and that one it looks as if it's about more than 15. I don't know, almost right up to the rings. So it's not quite as soft as the Blade 6 triple core, but it's probably closer, I think, to the Unicorn Ultra in terms of the firmness. but I only see a couple of holes which is still there, but it may take a bit of a time to bed in a little bit, so there's no point in me throwing any more. Like I say, I'll update it when I've done 10,000 throws, but again, first impressions, it looks a rather nice board, so it's just a case of seeing how it wears, and by the time this gets onto the release date, hopefully I'll have done about 10,000 throws, so I'll be able to update you by then. So that's the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. Happy darting.